There are 36 peaks in the Songshan Mountains. Among them, Shaoxi Mountain is steep and easy to defend, and difficult to attack. It is a good place to establish in that mountain. There are 3 martial arts sects in Shaoxi Mountain, namely Zhongyu Temple in Dongshan, Faoying Temple in Nanshan, and Shaolin Temple on the main peak in the center. The Zhongyu Temple is a Taoist temple with a famous head. It has many disciples and many industries. It can be called the largest sect in Songshan. Faoying Temple is one of the earliest temples. Although it is not as famous as the Zhongyu Temple, it still speaks to the past. Although the Shaolin Temple is located on the main peak, it is the worst and it has fewer incense. There is only 1 great monk and 3 disciples in the Shaolin Temple. During the night at the main peak Shaolin Temple, there are several men praying in front of the Buddha. Their abbot or the master of the monks declared that tonight will be the night of his final silence. Everyone was shocked upon hearing it. The abbot still has little time left to explain to them what will happen. He called the monk named Yi Jie, who was already emotional. Yi Jie is pure, clean-hearted, obsessed with martial arts, and doesn't care about anything else. The abbot knows that after he passes away, Yi Jie will be as good as ever. A monk named Yi Kong smirked, believing that their master will now choose a new abbot, and in his opinion, no one except him is qualified to be the Shaolin abbot. The current abbot called him and he immediately responded as he was too excited. But then, the abbot only expects him to devote himself to the study of Buddhism in the future, and that he should not let the things he's attached become the biggest obstacle to his enlightenment. Yi Kong was so disappointed that his master don't assign him to become the next abbot. Yi Jie, you have been smart since you were young, and you have the true inheritance of my skills, so I will pass on the position of the abbot to you. The current abbot declared, which made all the monks shocked. Yi Jie became emotional as he cannot believe that his master bids goodbye. Yi Kong suddenly stands and objects to what the abbot announced. But then, the abbot told him to accept the decision that was made and that he should not make any trouble. After his last word, the abbot died. In the present day in the city, there is a young man who looks thrilled and is drooling. His name is Huo Yuanzhen and he was waiting for a lady to come out from the bathroom. He's a dignified college student. He has gone through a lot of hardship and overcome all difficulties to get this beautiful woman. And now, he hoped it would be the end of his virginity. His protection fell on the ground, so he immediately grabbed it and was hoping to have great memories tonight. After a while, the lady came out of the bathroom, and her body was still covered with a towel. Huo Yuanzhen stared at her with the tongue out and looked like he was so hungry. He then removed his blazer. "Master, where are you running?" "Eat my old descendant's stick," Yuanzhen said while jumping toward the lady. His expression suddenly changed and his hair was floating in front of the lady. The lady was frightened when Yuanzhen was gone all of a sudden, and the only thing left was his hair floating. The lady couldn't utter any words. Upon realization, she screamed so loud that made the bird startled and flew away. In an instant, Huo Yuanzhen transmitted into the main peak Shaolin Temple and he became Yi Jie, the monk and the new abbot. He was so clueless upon seeing the unfamiliar surroundings. He doesn't have any idea about what was going on. "Second junior brother, now that the master is gone, it's time for the 3 of us to think about business," Yi Kong stated. Yuanzhen saw a Cao Shim, Buddha, and the old abbot that just died. Looking at the situation, Yuanzhen is guessing that he transmigrated to another world. When he touched his head, it was so smooth and slippery. Yuanzhen becomes paranoid to think that his thick and beautiful hair was gone. And he was disappointed that other people transmigrated, either the royal family or the rich business owner. But, in his situation, he dressed as a young monk whose master had just died. All of a sudden, a window appeared stating that the Abbot System has been activated. Yuanzhen was jaw-dropping upon seeing it. The window showed him his 3 main quests. First, he has to make an achievement. Second, he has to make the Shaolin Temple the biggest sect in Wuxia. Lastly, he has to make himself a Shaolin abbot. Yuanzhen becomes excited that the system is the golden finger of the transmigration reward. This system will serve him wholeheartedly while he completes his quest. "Hey, System Lord, let's make a deal. Let me go back and do what I need to do, and then let me transmigrate," Yuanzhen asked while hugging the system. But then, the system has not yet enabled the return to Earth function. He should work hard first to complete the quest. This world where Yuanzhen has transmitted is not any of the dynasties he has known. Folk customs are not much different from the ancient times of the country where he lives. There are courts, rivers, and lakes. In this world, there are literati, poets, poems, and paintings, and heroes in all concerns of the world. There are also ordinary people who live busy life and are safe and happy. In short, only the strong can survive in this world. Yuanzhen then imagined that if he really can't go back to his world, he was willing to be vulgar and be a free-spirited young who guessed with fine wine and beauty and 3 wives and 4 concubines. The system interrupted his daydreaming and reminded him that if one of the quests is not fulfilled, the system host will die immediately. Yuanzhen breathed deeply and asked to replace the first quest with something else as he doesn't really want to train in martial arts. Yi Jie was still emotional and Yi Kong was staring at the old monk with anger. "Senior brother, Master has appointed me as a Shaolin Abbot in front of us. Is there anything else we can discuss?" Yuanzhen asked. According to the memory of the host, when the Shaolin Abbot passed the position of the abbot to his second disciple, the first disciple, Yi Kong, was angry. At that time, because of the Shaolin Abbot's face, he dared not oppose it for the time being, but now that the Shaolin Abbot has gone, he can't wait. Yi Kong called Yi Jie, but then Yi Jie turned a deaf ear and ignored him. "Junior brother, having said that, but now the situation is different. I think it is more appropriate to choose someone from the 3 of us who deserves it," Yi Kong uttered. Even if Yuanzhen moved out of the temple, Yi Kong didn't show any signs of backing down, so this battle for the abbot position seems inevitable. Yuanzhen concludes that if this body is still owned by an old Yi Jie, he might have given up his position as abbot. Unfortunately, Yi Jie is no longer Yi Jie, and Yi Kong's schemes will be wasted by him. "Senior brother, why do you think the master's decision was unfair?" he asked. As per Yi Kong, Yi Jie is not good at words, stupid, sneaky, and slippery. And most of all, Yi Jie is not as proficient in Buddhism as he is. Yuanzhen interrupts him and asks if he is really not qualified to be an abbot. Because of how he looks, Yi Kong becomes frightened of him. He was shocked to see Yi Jie's aura that became terrifying. He was like being stared at by an angry King Kong. Since the senior brother is proficient in Buddhism, so who is the father of Buddha? Yuanzhen asked, causing Yi Kong to be confused. Yi Kong was thinking about Yuanzhen's questions, and at the end, he answered that Buddha doesn't have a father. His answer was wrong, and Yuanzhen educated him about the answer. Yi Kong asked for another chance, and Yuanzhen questioned who the Buddha's mother was. But still, Yi Kong couldn't give the right answer. "Let me ask you again. Do you think that in the eyes of the Buddha, I am more suitable to be an abbot, or you are more suitable?" Yuanzhen asked, and Yi Kong now accepted that Yi Jie is more deserving than him. At this point, Yuanzhen said that his answer is wrong. Yi Kong becomes more confused. But then, Yuanzhen said that in the eyes of the Buddha, all living beings are equal. This means he, Yi Kong, and Yi Jie are all the same. Only we, ourselves, can decide who is more suitable. Yuanzhen added and left, leaving Yi Kong speechless. Yuanzhen directly went to the Shaolin Abbot's chamber room and the system showed him the system benefits. He then receives it immediately. He has sent Yi Jie away so he can now finally take a good look at the benefits provided by the system. This lottery system is like the lucky wheel in his previous life. The things that are in the grid at the end of the cursor will be the rewards he will get. The lottery system has been turned on. Rewards are available once every month. There are 36 grids here, of which 6 are martial arts secrets, 6 are sect construction tokens, 6 are scriptures, 6 are Buddhist artifacts, 6 are silver tails, and the last 6 are sundries. The martial arts secrets are Fuhu Fist, Plum Blossom Column Footwork, Iron Head Technique, Light Body Technique, Vigorous Vajra Palm, and Marrow Washing Sutra. The scriptures are the Lotus Sutra, the Great Peacock Sutra, the Vajra Sutra, the Kesiddhagarbha Sutra, the Bangjiya Sutra, and the Mingwang Sutra. The Buddhist artifacts are split bags, meditation sticks, prayer beads, prayer wheels, incense burners, and great tripods. The sect's construction tokens are the construction order of the Bell Tower, Mountain Gate, Heaven Temple, Murang Sang, Dharma Hall, and the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. The type of silver tails is 1 tail of silver, 10 tails of silver, 50 tails of silver, 100 tails of silver, 1 gold leaf, and 1 gold ingot. The sundries are a ring knife, a handle, an oil lamp, a horse, an eagle, and 3 light spots in the shape of a pill. Among the 36 grids, the martial arts secret books, scriptures, Buddhist artifacts, 3 sects construction orders, silver tails, and sundries are all randomly distributed by the system. In other words, they will become other items in the next draw. Among the 6 martial arts secrets, the Marrow Washing Sutra is advanced, the Vigorous Vajra Palm is intermediate, and the other 4 books are all low level. It looks like the higher the level of the martial arts, the lower the probability of it appearing. With this golden finger, Yuanzhen sees this as an opportunity to complete his task easily. Because of his excitement, he immediately tried it. The wheel then spins, which makes him feel dizzy and almost vomits the food from his stomach. He was hoping not to get the scriptures. Although scriptures are necessary for Buddhists, the Shaolin Temple is too poor, so he was planning to set aside the scriptures for the time being. Most of the sundries in this lottery draw are useless, except the light spot. According to his previous life experience, this is definitely the biggest prize in entire roulette. 3 lucky draws. His sweat drops from his forehead as he is thrilled, waiting for the wheel to stop. He was hoping for the grand prize but ended up being disappointed because the wheel didn't stop yet. But then he remembered that as per the law of conservation of luck and the law of novice rewards, he will definitely get a mid to high level prize. The speed of the cursor is getting slower and slower. He estimated that it will stop at the 5th or 6th grid. Right now, in front of him is the Bangji's Sutra, 50 Tails of Silver, the Great Tripod, the Mountain Gate Construction Order, the Iron Head Technique, and the Vigorous Vajra Palm. But then, he doesn't want it for now. When it pointed at the construction order, he then screamed, hoping that it would stop. In the end, Yuanzhen gets the basic martial arts, the Iron Head Technique. He was so down while thinking that he will become a laughingstock if he will use this Iron Head Technique to compete with others. Although the Iron Head Technique is a basic martial art, it takes a lot of hard work to learn it. He concludes that he needed a stone to learn it. The Iron Head Technique is a kind of masculine strength and inner strength. Although it uses outer strength to strengthen the muscles and bones, it must also use the strength, Kai, and spirit in one's body to complement each other in order to achieve success. Someone with the deepest Iron Head skill has a head that is stronger than stone, and stones are broken with a touch, and an iron plate can sink deeply when knocked. This technique is invincible. After a while, Yuanzhen finished learning the Iron Head Technique. He has not only learned it but also reached the highest level of this technique. With the little internal strength in the original owner's body, coupled with the iron technique, Yuanzhen concludes that his head might become a major weapon in martial arts shows. But he was planning not to expose it, unless he had to rather learn to persuade people with reason. After using it, the magical power of this book disappeared, and now it has become a pure ordinary book. While he was thinking, someone opened the door. It was Yi Jie, informing him that it was time to cook. Yuanzhen then comes out with excitement and picks up a brick, which makes Yi Jie wonder. To his surprise, Yuanzhen hit his head using the brick. Yuanzhen remained fine and Yi Jie was so impressed and asked about what martial arts it is. Yuanzhen chuckled and concluded that Yi Jie is not good at martial arts. He then informed Yi Jie that it was an Iron Head Technique and that if he will listen to him in the future, he was willing to teach it. Yuanzhen then told him that he was now the new abbot, which means cooking would not be his task anymore. He ordered Yi Jie to fetch water while Yi Kong will be the one to cook their food. He promised Yi Jie that he will teach him the technique after fetching water within 10 days. Due to excitement, Yi Jie then gets the 2 buckets and is willing to start fetching water immediately. 2 days later, now that the old monk has now been to rest, the future of Shaolin Temple, Yuanzhen decided to go down the mountain to have a look. He was observing around, but suddenly his tummy hurt. He then remembered that he had only eaten steamed buns and wild vegetables for the past 2 days. However, the Shaolin Temple is indeed too poor. In the past, when the old monk was alive, he would occasionally do things for people and make a few small sums of money for a living. Now that the old monk is gone, it is necessary for Yuanzhen to train Jai Kong and let him do things to make money. When Shaolin recruits other disciples, Jai Kong will gather a dozen or more people and make a big scene will increase their reputation. That way, they can also make more money. In the past, when Shaolin recruits disciples, they pay attention to fate. Only the predestined could join the Shaolin. However, very few people can bear these difficult living conditions. Yuanzhen continued walking at the mountain and all of a sudden, he saw a lady roaming around with a wolf and shepherd. It's the little shepherd girl in the monk's memory named Lin Ru. Lin Ru was having fun not until someone bumped her. It was 2 men and they wanted this lady to play with their brother. The wolf suddenly attacked the man and was about to bite him. But then, the man was alarmed and instantly struck the wolf in its stomach. Lin Ru was worried for the wolf and wanted to go near it, but the man grabbed her wrists and pinched his cheeks. To their surprise, someone attacked them with a powerful force, causing the other man to flew away and bump into the huge rock. 2 grown men forcing themselves on a weak woman. You really deserve to be punished, Yuanzhen stated. Lin Ru and Yi Jie know each other and Lin Ru doesn't know that someone is inside Yi Jie's body. She was worried for Yi Jie, so she told him to run away and call his brother and sister who know martial arts. The man managed to stand and they didn't want Yuanzhen to escape. Be careful not to provoke someone you shouldn't provoke, or else I'll twist your bald head off and use it as a football, the man boasted. Yuanzhen pressed his palms together, which made his opponent laugh. His laugh changed instantly when Yuanzhen punched him in the abdomen. He spit blood and he was about to strike a punch at Yuanzhen, but then Yuanzhen was too attentive and blocked his arm. The man still continued attacking him and Yuanzhen kept dodging. He feels that this guy has a strong boxing technique and a compelling aura. With his weak internal strength, even with the power of his iron head, it will not be easy for him to defeat this guy. He glanced at Lin Ru and concluded that this lady definitely has a friendship with Yi Jie, so Yuanzhen doesn't want to show any weakness in front of her. The man struck a punch once more and hit him in the head, but because of his iron head technique, the man's fingers were disjointed. Yuanzhen crumpled the man's face and slapped him many times, causing the man to beg for mercy. Even his brother doesn't want to fight against Yuanzhen and run away. After a while, the man was already full of bruises and a lump on his face. Yuanzhen already felt pity for him, so he let the man leave. Before the man left, he even threatened Yuanzhen as he still had a plan to get revenge with the help of his eldest brother, who is a disciple of the Zhongyu sect. Lin Ru was worried for Yuanzhen as she thought that it was still Yi Jie. Yuanzhen boasted and told the lady not to underestimate the abbot. Lin Ru scolded him and told him not to call himself an abbot. Yuanzhen then stopped her from blabbering and proudly said that he is now the current abbot. The lady was confused and asked about where the old monk, and Yuanzhen informed her that the old monk had passed away and had gone to the paradise of bliss. Lin Ru was shocked upon hearing it and she couldn't hold herself but to cry. Yuanzhen rattled upon seeing a lady crying in front of him. This is the first time he saw a lady cry, so he told the lady not to worry since the old man is already in the paradise of bliss. Lin Ru wiped out her tears and handed an apple to Yuanzhen. She then left first and Yuanzhen was amazed by her good personality. He was so thrilled while staring at the lady and biting the apple. There are several villages and small towns under Shaolin Mountain, among which the largest and most prosperous is Lui Town. Every 15th day of the first Lunar New Year is the market day in Lui Town. Villagers from the kingdom of Zhuo will come, either to sell or to buy goods, or simply join in the fun. At the moment, Yuanzhen was enjoying roaming around the town to promote the Shaolin. To his surprise, people were gossiping about him. He also saw a foreign monk lecturing at the foot of Shaolin Mountain, but nobody was listening seriously at them. Yuanzhen was annoyed that they don't take Shaolin seriously. Lui Town is not within the scope of the Shaolin Temple. Any monk can stay here and teach Buddhism. Yuanzhen suddenly punched the window system and the people around him were confused about what he was doing. Someone then approached him to offer help because he thought that Yuanzhen was insane. Both of you have been talking about authentic Buddhism, but nobody seems to appreciate it. Yuanzhen answered. The man agreed to him and said that they have been lecturing here for 2 hours, but they haven't been able to get a single copper plate of alms. Yuanzhen offered them help, that he will be the one to preach while these 2 men will help him cheer. Once they will get some alms, they should split it in half. The men were talking and in the end, they decided to cooperate with Yuanzhen. Yuanzhen then borrowed the Tibetan bell and announced to everyone that he had some stories to tell. People become interested in hearing the story, so they go near Yuanzhen since a monk telling a story instead of preaching is new to their eyes. He told a story about a monk who learned from the scriptures. In the middle of his story, he stopped, which made the crowd annoyed. He then explained to everyone that they only came here for alms and that he needs to go back to the temple to hand over the money. He smiled as he was waiting for these people to give him the money. Everyone then puts the coins in the bowl until it is full. Yuanzhen instructed everyone to go to the Shaolin Temple tomorrow morning. The people left with the expectation that Yuanzhen will continue the story by tomorrow. Yuanzhen and the 2 foreign monks were glad that they finally had the money and were ready to divide it. The 2 monks bumped their fists as they saw Yuanzhen as a great companion. The fat monk is Huo Yuanzhen while the thin monk is Huo Ming. Both of them have long since lost their temple residence and are now wandering around. They asked Yuanzhen if they both could be given a chance to be part of the Shaolin Temple. Yuanzhen smiled as his plan to recruit these 2 men were effective. He proudly told Huo Yuanzhen and Huo Ming that he was the newest Shaolin abbot. Huo Yuanzhen was shocked upon hearing it. They both then apologized to Yuanzhen when they realized that their behavior was disrespectful. They cannot blame themselves because, judging by Yuanzhen's clothes, he looks like a beggar walking on the street. Then, let's divide the money first so we can talk about other things, Yuanzhen said. The 2 brothers decided not to accept any money as they did not contribute to earning it. But then, Yuanzhen resisted as they already agreed to divide it in half. After dividing the money, Huo Yuanzhen and Huo Ming then sincerely asked him once again if they wanted to be part of the Shaolin Temple. Yuanzhen at this point was thinking that he needed to recruit more disciples to make the Shaolin more popular. From the moment I saw you, I've wanted to put you in my bag, Yuanzhen answered and invited both men to go to his temple. He believes that it's better for these 2 men not to be made to think that entering the Shaolin Temple is a very simple matter. Otherwise, they might look down on him as the Shaolin abbot. He told them to enter first the Shaolin outer sect, and he will watch their future performance in order to decide whether they both should join the inner sect or not. I just made up the inner and the outer sect, which will put pressure on these two people so that they can work hard for the illusion of the inner sect. Yuanzhen added. The two foreign monks then vowed that they will not let the Shaolin abbot down. When the night comes, at Shaoxi Mountain, the two foreign monks are following Yuanzhen. Hui Meng was thinking that it was a bit hasty for them to join the Shaolin temple instantly. But then, his brother Hui Zhen had a hunch. He believes that if they follow the Shaolin abbot, they can eat enough food. Meanwhile, they arrived at the Shaolin temple. Yuanzhen then called out Yikong and Yi Jing and introduced each other. Yi Jing was happy for the new recruits while Yikong was confused if these two new recruits were obedient or not. Yuanzhen then instructed the two new monks to sleep together with Yikong and Yi Jing. When Yuanzhen was already in his room, he was seriously thinking that the Shaolin premises are too tight. He was afraid that this small temple will not be able to accommodate people for a long time. He was planning to expand the premises as soon as possible, but now, he has a problem with where to get the money. When he fell asleep, he was dreaming that he was tilling the soil, and his disciples came to complain that their money had been used up. These 4 disciples didn't stop blabbering in his dream, so he suddenly woke up and was panting. To his surprise, he saw a man in front of him, which made him scared. He comes back to his senses when he realizes that it was Yi Jing informing him that there are many people outside the temple waiting for him. He immediately comes out, and these people are the ones who wanted to hear the continuation of his story last day. They have a wide smiles on their face while informing Yuanzhen that they are here for the story. Dear donors, I haven't seen you all for a night, and you guys are still the same. It's really gratifying, Yuanzhen said. Before continuing the story, he tried to sell incense first, and everyone bought it immediately. He then continued the story and everyone was enjoying listening to him. He then cut the story again and instructed the crowd to come back again by tomorrow for the continuation. Everyone left, but there was one person who stayed that caught Yuanzhen's attention. The man introduced himself as Cayenne Delu, and according to him, he heard the name of the abbot, that's why he came here to meet him. Yuanzhen senses that this person is extraordinary and shrewd. He is afraid that this man is a fat sheep. Cayenne Delu wanted to discuss a business with the Shaolin abbot. He was planning to hire someone to record Yuanzhen while he was telling a story. Once the story is finished and the book is finished, even if he will buy this book from Yuanzhen, he can find someone to teach it in other countries in the future. He believes that the potential of this book is huge and will definitely make him earn thousands of taels easily. He underestimated Yuanzhen, and his real plan was to deceive him. He doesn't know that Yuanzhen is smarter than him. Yuanzhen asked about how much money he can make, and Cayenne Delu answered that he can get 20 taels of silver. Yuanzhen told him that it will be 200,000 taels, which made Cayenne Delu shocked and refused. It seems the money donor is not doing business in good faith, so you can leave, Yuanzhen stated and walked away. Cayenne Delu stopped him and offered 100 taels. I treat the money donor as a friend, but the money donor treats me as a fool, Yuanzhen answered. Cayenne Delu is begging him to accept the offer, but still, Yuanzhen rejected him several times. Sweats dropped from Cayenne Delu for keeping begging at Yuanzhen. He doesn't want to leave unless he will make Yuanzhen accept his offer. As of the moment, Yuanzhen insisted on dismantling the story and is asking him for 50 taels per episode. Yuanzhen proposed to give him an installment, which is to pay for 30 episodes first, and so on. All of a sudden, Yuanzhen invited him to visit the Yuhan Mountain of Shaolin Temple. By this, Cayenne Delu feels like there is another pit waiting for him ahead, so he rejects Yuanzhen's invitation. But since Yuanzhen is insisting, he cannot resist. They then headed to the Yuhan Mountain, and Yuanzhen asked Cayenne Delu's opinion about the future development of the Shaolin Temple. As per Cayenne Delu, the Yuhan Mountain area where the Shaolin Temple is located is vast, easy to defend, and difficult to attack. He guessed that the Shaolin Temple's future achievements will be extraordinary. Yuanzhen then asked about Cayenne Delu's thoughts on the Shaolin Temple's philosophy. Cayenne Delu confidently said that the temple will be welcomed by the people. He believes that it will definitely be more attractive if it can make a name for itself in the world. Coincidentally, our thoughts match, and I also believe that Shaolin will definitely flourish. But we are facing many difficulties at the moment, for example, funds, silver, taels, and so on, Yuanzhen stated. Upon hearing it, Cayenne Delu was thinking that Yuanzhen said is a technique to scam him. They arrived at the upper part of the mountain, and Yuanzhen informed Cayenne Delu about his plans. He then offered a new deal to Cayenne Delu in which he will borrow money, and he can guarantee for the future earnings of the temple. But then, Cayenne Delu was thinking that if the abbot monastery was established and can't make money, it would be a big loss for him. Yuanzhen told him that he must not only have a good vision but also have the courage to give it a try. He suggested that if Shaolin cannot make money in the future, he will tell a story that is much more exciting. It will be free to compensate Qian Delu's losses. He gives an example story to Qian Delu like the heaven is dead, the yellow heaven stands, brothers with different surnames, and Dio Chan. Because of his suggestion, Qian Delu became interested and was willing to invest some money in Yuanzhen's offer. Yuanzhen smiled as he was thinking about the 5,000 taels additional of the Shaolin Temple property. When the night comes, Yuanzhen is checking the money that Qian Delu invested. Now that the money he needed was almost enough, he was planning to start building infrastructure. This will be the big project that he has to complete in 3 to 5 months. He was hoping that Qian Delu would bring more workers and materials tomorrow. The window appeared and informed him that he obtained a Dragon Boat Festival +1 lucky draw. He was surprised upon knowing that the system has promotional activities every New Year's holiday. He then started spinning the wheel and won 3 lucky draw opportunities. He was glad that he got a super rare item the second time. After another spin, he obtained a Lotus Sutra, a wooden fish gong, and 10,000 pagoda construction orders. He first checks the wooden fish gong and knocks it, and a blow suddenly comes out from the gong. Because of it, his mind transmitted to a beach. This treasure can calm people's minds and make them forget their troubles. He was thinking that he can use this wooden fish gong to sad, bitter, and unlovable people to help them figure out their troubles and convert to Buddhism. And then, his Shaolin temple will slowly rise up. He checked the Lotus Sutra and the knowledge then went inside his mind. The amount of knowledge is too much, which makes him feel overwhelmed. The 10,000 Buddha pagoda construction order is a good thing, as well as it will be able to play a crucial role. He remembered that the ancients especially liked the theory of miracles, and fall miracles such as colorful auspicious clouds, the appearance of the bitter samurai, and golden light covering monasteries could attract a large number of believers. If he will come up with a real one, and hire someone to pass it on, he believes it will attract more believers. He was also thinking that he can create another gimmick of donating to Buddha statues to ensure safety. Although he doesn't get any martial arts techniques, these 3 things are more useful for the development of Shaolin. The next day, he wakes up in a good mood and Qian Delu comes back and brings the people and money that Yuanzhen needed. Yuanzhen was so happy and excited to receive the money. Qian Delu then handed it to him. It's a total of 100 taels of silver ingots and 5,900 taels of silver bills. Yuanzhen will use this money for the construction of a Shaolin temple. He gets something inside his robe and puts it down on the ground while shouting that they will now start the construction of the Shaolin temple. The paper he showed them is the map of the Shaolin temple, and he then instructed all the people on how and where to start. Qian Delu observes him and becomes hesitant. He whispered to Yuanzhen, stating that he was afraid that their plan will not work. For him, Yuanzhen's construction plan cannot be repaired without spending at least 30,000 taels of silver. He explained that his bank can be considered at most, and the maximum loan amount cannot exceed 10,000 taels. Yuanzhen then understands that Qian Delu's approval authority is not enough. He asked Qian Delu the location of his bank head office as he had some plans. Qian Delu then gave him the answer and explained that he can borrow 50,000 taels from the branch of the country town. He also said that if the Shaolin Abbot had a plan of borrowing from the country branch, it would not be that easy. The shopkeeper of the branch in the country is surnamed Zhao. He is a talented man from a talented background. It is a pity that he has repeatedly failed the entrance examination and become a shopkeeper in a money bank. This person has a weird personality. He can easily talk to people he fancies, but if the other party cannot play their cards right, this man won't allow the borrower to borrow money without collateral. Shopkeeper Zhao admires talented people. There was a person who once made a 7-character quatrain. Shopkeeper Zhao applauded the situation and loaned the other party 50,000 taels on the spot. After hearing it, Yuanzhen asked Qian Delu to introduce him to the shopkeeper. Qian Delu was emotionless and he belittled Yuanzhen in his mind. But he is still willing to come with Yuanzhen to the shopkeeper by tomorrow. The next day, Yuanzhen and Qian Delu are already at the country town. They immediately visited the shopkeeper Zhao, and Qian Delu warned Yuanzhen that Zhao has a strange personality. When they went inside, the attendant instantly saw them. This attendant already knew Qian Delu. Qian Delu immediately asked about shopkeeper Zhao. The attendant named Xiao Hong was about to go to the shopkeeper, but then he noticed Yuanzhen and knew that Yuanzhen is the storyteller monk. Xiao Hong was so thrilled upon seeing Yuanzhen. Yuanzhen then greeted him, and he didn't expect to meet a small fan in the town. Xiao Hong was so glad and told Yuanzhen that he went to the Shaolin temple 2 days ago to listen to his story. Qian Delu interrupted him and told him to call the shopkeeper first before talking too much. He then walks away to call shopkeeper Zhao. When Xiao Hong came back, he was so sad to let them know that the shopkeeper Zhao cannot see them for the time being, but they can wait if they want. Yuanzhen is willing to wait and talk to Xiao Hong in the meantime. Xiao Hong idolized him so much and even offered him some food to eat while they were waiting. Xiao Hong was enjoying talking about Yuanzhen's story. Yuanzhen suddenly asked him if he already saw a statue of Buddha. According to Xiao Hong, he has seen a Buddha before. He often sees a Buddha statue that has a round head and a big belly and is always smiling. He even said that Buddha is much fatter than Cayenne. Yes, the Buddha also felt that he was very fat and wanted to lose weight. Yuanzhen replied, which made Cayenne spit his tea. Yuanzhen explained that Buddha wanted to lose weight, so he ate a vegetarian diet every day. Buddha also came up with a way to get rid of alms. In fact, he took this way to exercise, but he still failed to lose weight as per Yuanzhen. In the end, he even came up with cruel tricks such as cutting meat and feeding it to an eagle, but his fat still did not decrease. Yuanzhen continued his story that made Xiao Hong laugh so hard. Cayenne was confused at Yuanzhen as he dared to make jokes about the Buddha. The next day, shopkeeper Zhao invited them to a banquet together with other guests. Cayenne at this point was annoyed that the shopkeeper had the guts to invite others to join them after letting them wait for a day and night. Yuanzhen is glad. As for him, since they have been invited to go inside, it means they are qualified. Xiao Hong leads the way. While heading, they already saw the shopkeeper together with the other guests. After they arrived, Xiao Hong introduced them to the shopkeeper. The pride of the Dingfeng country named Chen Dincheng is here. This man is a celebrity in their country. Not only is his style elegant, but he is also excellent in martial arts. He has an amazing skill in punching holes with a folding fan. He once killed the 4 great villains outside the city to eliminate harm to their country. Together with him is the abbot of Fowing Temple on Shaoxi Mountain named Lai Xuan. This man is the younger brother of Likong, the abbot of Fowing Temple. Lai Xuan has high attainments in both Buddhism and martial arts. The shopkeeper Zhao introduced Cayenne to them, but then he asked about what temple Yuanzhen came from. This poor monk is the abbot of the Shaolin Temple, Yuanzhen answered. At this point, he senses that the shopkeeper Zhao is deliberately belittling him. He was clueless as to why the shopkeeper introduced these 2 men to them. Lai Xuan said that the Shaolin Temple location is very good, but from what he has seen, the sect has not been established for a long time, and its reputation is not that great. He concludes that the Shaolin Temple had only a few disciples, and by judging Yuanzhen's age, he believes that Yuanzhen doesn't have much Taoism and only focused on martial arts and Buddhism. Yuanzhen interfered and told them that he disagreed with what Lai Xuan said. He admits that Shaolin Temple only has a few disciples, but they are united in their hearts, and recently monks have begun to join their temple. As for the theory of martial arts and Buddhism, Master Lai Xuan's words are even more wrong. There is no limit to learning, and the one who achieves it is the first. I believe that my Shaolin sect is not inferior to any sect in Buddhism and martial arts. Sooner or later, Shaolin martial arts will be known to everyone in the world, Yuanzhen explained. Because of his tone of voice, Lai Xuan becomes annoyed at him, and he even boasted about his brother who is skillful in martial arts. Yuanzhen confidently told him that Shaolin will be the #1 sect in Shaoxi Mountain in less than 3 years. What an arrogant tone, Shaolin Abbot. Since you are so confident, the poor monk will like to exchange a few moves with you. I wonder if you dare to fight. Lai Xuan answered out of annoyance. Yuanzhen didn't accept his challenge to respect the shopkeeper's rules. But then, he's willing to fight against Lai Xuan after his errand here with the shopkeeper. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Till next time.